Yo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Mendoza coming at you live with another Plus 48 Productions video. And today we're going to be going over how the new single by Artificial Christian, Movement Number 32, was made. Let's get it. Alright, y'all, let's jump right into it. So basically, how I produce my beats is I use Maschine inside of Pro Tools. So like I use it as a plugin. If you notice right here, I have Maschine, and then I'm inserting it as a plugin, and bam, that's what comes up. It's the actual Maschine software, and I'm able to create in there and then use this function right here to track everything out when needed, like so. So the first thing that I usually do whenever I make a beat is I come up with a melody and then kind of just feel things around it. And for this particular track, I was using this patch called Analog Dreams type of keyboard, and I came up with this. So that was like my foundation, and that was cool, but I wanted to add some texture to it and a little bit more bounce, so I went ahead and added a filter, dirty it up a little bit, and then came the bounce. And that's what basically made like the whole foundation of the track at first. So then next what I went into was some drums. I started with a kick, and then I went into my snare, and then I kind of layered the kick to get it sounding fuller. So peep the kick. And then I added 2 kicks to it. A lot more punchy. Then I added my snare. Some claps. Hat. And then I also added another hat. A little lower. And then of course I had that 808 hit. So that's basically what I did at first, and I didn't know where to go from there, so I went ahead and just tracked it all out. I'll show you the cool feature that it has right here. So say if I wanted to track that out, I would just select this, let it export, and then I could drop it, like say if I wanted to drop it right there. So that and there it is. So now I could lay out the beat however I want. Alright, so next I did that, and then I kind of tracked it out, and I left it how it was at the beginning right here. But then on the verse, I decided to like chop it up a little bit manually and kind of get a little more bounce than it already had and give it a little bit of different feel during the verses. So peep that. Gave it a little tape stop right at the end. Just give it a whole bunch of feel. So then, as you recall, the regular drums stayed for the actual hook. Here's the kicks. I'm gonna actually play the whole thing except for the 808 and these. All right. So that stayed the same. So to get some different movement going, and because I did change the actual bounce of this, I wanted to kind of match the drums to that for the verses. So it came out like this. And it have to just come along very nicely. And then I also added this 808, the same 808 that was inside of here. Just a normal 808. I actually added it into the second half of the verse, but it sounds a lot different. And in context, and the way that I achieved that was with this plugin called Tremolator from Soundtoys. Without it, it's just with it. Just played around with it till I got a setting that I liked and that I thought fit the track. So then after all that foundation was done, I actually met up with Spencer and Warren, and we were in the studio, and I was just kind of showing them some beats, and I didn't even think anything of this beat. I didn't think it was that great or anything like that. And then they kind of just got inspired by it, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's add some vocal samples to it. So we got Spence in the booth, and then he started doing some very nice vocal samples that you hear right off the bat, and it sounds like this. And so dry, they just sound like this. And then I added some effects to it. Give it a little stutter. And some verb. Make it a little bigger. And then after that, we're like, oh, let's do a bass line as well. So we got what you hear at the very intro. And in context. Yeah, so it started coming together pretty dope, and I was like, oh yeah, this is something. After that, we went into the hook, and into the hook, we did some more vocal samples on top to give it a different feel. Same with these ones. I just added a little bit of delay to these ones, as well as a little bit of chorus to kind of widen it up without it, and without that and the verb. I mean, it's cool, but it's not that cool, and then it becomes cooler. A lot bigger. And then finally, we also wanted to make the chorus even more bigger than it was, and we came up with this in the background as well. Without anything. Not as cool. But the funny thing is that this is probably one of my favorite parts, is because this was an accident. Before recording into this, Spencer was actually coughing. He started coughing, but actually when you put all the effects on, it actually sounded super dope, and I used it throughout the whole beat to do transitions. So in context, that's pretty much how it was made. Movement number 32. Go out, get that. Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, you name it, it's probably on there. Movement number 32 by Artificial Christian, produced by Plus48. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Plus48, and on YouTube as well. Subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, y'all, I'm out. Peace.
The difference between loneliness and solitude. What a private matter. Acquire your manner of living life. Absorb the conflict, bet direct at your content. Onset wreck when our concept met with a perfect set of nice.